Right. Big game this weekend. Aston Villa versus Manchester City.
Yeah, always a good one.
And, on the surface, it looks like another easy win for City, right?
Yeah.
But,
Well, you gotta look a little bit deeper.
yeah, we're going to dive deep into the stats and storylines to see if there's anything that might surprise us.
Absolutely. And I think there are a few things that might just change how people see this matchup.
Yeah, like Villa, they've been on fire at home.
Unbelievable at Villa Park.
But can they really, take down a giant like Man City? I mean, even if City haven't exactly been themselves lately.
Right, and that's the really interesting part, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got these two totally different stories kind of clashing here.
Yeah.
On one hand, you got Aston Villa, right? They've found their groove, especially at home. 7 home games unbeaten.
Wow.
And that includes that win against City last season.
That's right.
Remember that one?
Yeah, I do. That was a great game. But, I was looking back, and they haven't actually won back-to-back home games against City since, get this, 1993.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
It makes you think, doesn't it? You know those historical trends? Sometimes I wonder if there's something more to it.
It does make you wonder. But to really get a handle on this, let's break down Villa's form.
All right.
Okay, so they are coming off a tough loss, gotta say, to Nottingham Forest.
Right.
But before that, 3-game winning streak.
Yeah.
And get this, in those wins, they scored first, and then they held on,
Oh, interesting.
which, shows they got that confidence, that
For
resilience.
sure.
But holding on against City, even a City that's, not at their best, that's a whole other challenge, right?
Yeah, that's a big ask.
Because we're talking about, let's face it, 1 win in their last 11 games for City.
Yeah.
That's not the City we all know.
No, it's not the dominant force we're used to. Something's up, that's for sure.
Yeah, something's definitely up.
I mean, even Guardiola said after one of the games something like, something feels wrong. He didn't say it exactly like that, but...
Right. The feeling's off.
Yeah, exactly.
And you look at the numbers, 8 defeats in their last 11 games.
8.
Compare that to just 8 defeats in their previous 106.
It's mind-boggling.
I mean, I can handle City losing every now and then. It happens.
Right.
But losing after being ahead at halftime?
Yeah.
2 times in their last 3 games.
It's bizarre.
I'm starting to think maybe these halftime leads and then losing, it's like a sign of something deeper.
Oh, like what?
I don't know, like a lack of focus in the second half.
Right.
Or they just don't have that killer instinct anymore.
Yeah, could be.
I don't know.
It's interesting. It could be a bunch of things, right? Maybe it's overconfidence. Maybe teams have figured out a weakness, tactically. Or, yeah, maybe it's that mental thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's too early to say, but definitely something to watch.
Definitely keep an eye on that. Okay, so we got Villa riding high.
Right.
We got City in a bit of a slump.
Yep.
But, games are won and lost by players. Let's talk about some of these guys. Villa side. I got to mention Jhon Durán.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's been on fire, scoring goals in his last 3 games.
He's a game changer.
Yeah, and he even scored against City last time they met.
Yeah, he's got that confidence right now.
Yeah.
He's a real spark for Villa. That goal-scoring ability. It adds a whole new dimension to their attack.
Absolutely. Now, on the City side, I got to say, Phil Foden's having a rough one.
Yeah.
Leading the league in shots, but he hasn't found the back of the net yet.
It's tough when you're putting in the effort, but the results aren't there.
Oh, man, I can only imagine.
It's like he's a reflection of City's struggles as a whole,
Yeah.
That sharpness, that clinical finishing they're known for, it's just not quite there.
Not there at all. Okay, so let's put it all together. We got a confident Villa squad at home, practically unbeatable at Villa Park lately, and they're going up against a City team that, well, they're showing some cracks in the armor.
And that's what makes this matchup so compelling. We can't forget, City's been dominant over Villa historically. Most wins, most goals against them in Premier League history.
They do have a history, yeah.
But like we said, recent form can throw all that history right out the window.
Right out the window. So I got to ask you, can Villa pull off another upset?
It's a good question. City, even wounded, is a dangerous team. Wouldn't rule them out. But Villa, they got a chance, especially with that home crowd behind them.
All right, listeners, it's your turn. What do you think? Can Villa do it again? Home advantage, recent form, enough to beat that City dominance? Or will City wake up, shake off this slump, and, remind everybody who the champs are? Let us know. What do you think is going to happen? What stat blew your mind? Let's